Welcome to the 100X podcast. Micah and I are so thrilled to let you listen in on people that we love and admire, who we feel are living what Jesus called the soil that produces 100-fold. When you listen in on Jesus' story and parable of the soils, the three gospels that it's shared in, there are four things we're told. One is cultivate a noble and good heart. And number two, listen deeply to my words, to what I'm telling you. So take time to make eye contact with the Lord and hear from Him. And then take it in and put it into action, even if it's risky and costly. And lastly, persist. What we're finding is that when you get clear and you get free and you persist over time in living out God's call, it produces not only a 100x return, but a 100x compounding return that ultimately we feel will bring you and I to our knees in gratitude for how God chooses to use us to bless other people's lives. So Micah called me and said, what if we created a podcast together where we capture the stories of the people that we've come to know over time who are living lives producing a 100x return for the Lord? And so Micah is a dear friend, and we've been friends over the last 15 years. Micah's about 20 years younger than me, and he's a real estate developer. And Micah, talk about the byline or the tagline for your real estate investment company. What is your aspiration?
Our goal and mission is to build America's most generous real estate company.
I love that. And then behind you, I think you've got like a bunch of different ministries that you guys fund, right? Out of the company.
We uh, we run a chain of hotels in Nashville where we give away 100% of the profits, and it's been fun. Lloyd's actually we met through Halftime, the program I went through, and he's been my coach and mentor, and um, it's been fun to use our business acumen and skills to create a business line that just exists to help the world and have kingdom impact. And we've picked mainly inner city charities here in Nashville to support. And yeah, it's just been fun to see how God can use our business skills to be a funding mechanism, a permanent funding mechanism for all these ministries here in town.
So you and I both like the parable of the soil, where the Lord says, "Don't be shallow, or your heart is too hard and the seed won't germinate. Don't be like the soul that gets entangled with all the cares of this world. Don't get enamored with the deceitfulness of riches," which is an interesting phrase. But then he says, but be the good soil that produces 30, 60, and 100. So for Micah and I, if we had to choose between 30, 60, or 100, we'd go for the 100, right? Micah. And it's not a pride thing. It's just a longing to turn our lives over like this and see God use them. Well, you came to me a few years ago and said you'd love to capture stories of people that we could learn from and maybe share those with others. And so these are going to be available or are available on lots of different platforms like the 100xforum.org. But talk a little bit about what your was in your heart in capturing these stories, and then maybe tee us up for this next interview.
Yeah, Lloyd, when I came to you, you were gracious to share your friends and with me, and I would interview them on Zoom and have a long list of questions. And the advice they kept giving me was unbelievable. And these are very busy people. And so when I called you, I was like, hey, I have an idea. What if we just started recording these interviews? Because these are very busy people, and it'd be a way to have a multiplication of their time because a lot of people would have the same exact questions I had for these individuals. And so I said, Lloyd, would you want to do this with me? It'd be a double benefit. Lloyd's big on like multiplying our time, and I was like, you and I would get more quality time together, and also, hundreds, thousands of people could listen to these interviews. And then as people wanted to meet with these people, they would just say, hey, honestly, I'm busy right now, but like, please just listen to this podcast. It would probably give you a lot of the same wisdom I would give you on a Zoom call. So that's the background. That's why we've done it. It's been so fun over the last year, I guess, recording a lot of these interviews, and we've met some fascinating people in the process. And yeah, so I'm very excited to see our listenership grow, and we believe that it's just going to be a ton of wisdom for everybody who gets a chance to listen to these.
Mike, I remember Peter Drucker saying to Bob Buford and I, that the people you surround yourself and the books you read will shape who you become. And this is a way for you and I and those who chime in and listen to these interviews to surround ourselves with people who are literally being used by God to produce 100x return on life that's compounding over time, and to unpack how they did that and how they listened to and align with the power of the Spirit of God to see that magic happen.
Yeah, Lloyd, I'm so excited for people to get to hear these interviews and excited to be on this journey with you, and just greatly appreciate your friendship and mentorship to me. Thank you for listening to the 100X podcast. Please subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast service. We would greatly appreciate it if you could rate the show and leave us a review. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor Investments, whose mission is to build America's most generous real estate company. To learn more, please visit anchorinv.com.